What's up, everybody? I'm surprised I haven't heard more people talking about this, but Mr. Burns has reinstated his medieval Byzantine tactics of the Doge. So the Doge of Venice was the Doge or highest role of authority within the Republic of Venice. The word Doge derives from the Latin dux, meaning leader, and Venetian Italian for duke, the highest official of the Republic of Venice for over 1,000 years. Now, what I read a long time ago is dux was actually a Visigothic term, meaning northern white folk, and that's why you find the title of duke all throughout the Anglo-Saxon world. But they've been eroding away at white or Visigothic history for the last 500 years. They don't call them Gothic cathedrals for nothing. But these terms come from the struggle for power between the Goths, what was left of the Imperial Roman Empire, and the Arabs. And even though the balance of power shifted away from the Goths and the Roman elites, the fact that they're still using these terms is because they still held sway there. But context be damned, this is YouTube. Doge means the highest role or authority. So Mr. Burns is up to his old tricks, and now Elon Musk is the Doge, and he is the new ultimate authority. So cool, we got the whole world all figured out again in 1 minute and 22 seconds, so have a nice day. So to celebrate his newly found preeminence, his ultimate authority, Musk, the richest guy in the world who could be out chilling on his yacht, is camping out in a federal building. They even went and got a bunch of IKEA furniture for the whole team. What have they done so far? Well, stopped things like this. This is in the building they're camped out in. There's a few plants in there. They're paying someone $50,000 to water the plants. This is just one of the thousands of crooked money schemes that have been going on for decades. Camping out in a federal building is not much of a way to celebrate your new preeminence, but if I acknowledge that that's a good move for America, just like stopping all of these other things, then I've lost the plot. Because I came on here and dared to say that the world is not this simple, then I got called everything that anybody could come up with, had hundreds of people leave their nasty little comments and unsubscribed, and I haven't had backlash like that since I dared to say that Tartaria and all history is fake is an oversimplification of the world. And that all you've done is taken your old belief system, thrown that out, and 5 minutes later you have a whole new belief system, and now you've got it all figured out again. Congratulations. Nope, they are all in on it, and if you dare to say otherwise, then you deserve to be strung up in the streets. I've done more videos than anybody I know right now about the two most powerful organizations in international espionage. I've not even heard another channel mention the J-suits in 5 years. But if I don't bow down to the YouTube spuriocracy and confess that everyone in the world is owned, then I'm on the Kool-Aid. Now, I know some of you are respectfully disagreeing with me, and I'm respectfully disagreeing back. But there's 100 comments not respectfully disagreeing, calling me everything in the book. I'm not going to give them the gratification of showing it on here. But you swing at me, I'm swinging back. Not one person addressed all of these points that I made. It's just slogans. Left, right, same predator drone, blah, blah. Hey, you ought to stick to the Eustace Mullins kind of thing. Okay, let's do that. I've read for you guys 15-minute sound bites of a 300-page book. And if I do a part 2, only about 40% are going to actually watch it because they've already got it figured out. They heard 15 minutes of it. So is Mullins describing the absolute power of the baddies? No, he's describing the balance of power in all of these famous world events. Here he's describing back at the time of the ratification of the Constitution, this plot had its goal of nullification of the First Amendment by bribery and intrigue. They planned to establish the Calvinist Church as the official, authorized, and state religion. So did that happen? Do we have a state religion now? No. Why not? Because this was a small group of powerful men trying to overpower the will of the entire American public. And yeah, they managed to get to a couple of people in the Constitutional Congress, but not all of them. Yeah, but not one person has been arrested in the first 40 days, so they're all owned. Holy crap, man. They have done so much more than I expected to get done in the first 40 days. I thought it'd be business as usual, which is absolutely nothing. The machine keeps turning. But no, they have cut off all of the dark state money, removed us from the Klamata-Ching grift, and the list goes on and on and on, but none of that matters because I want to see heads roll. Okay, you're Captain America. You run in there and arrest everybody. Then what? Have you got all the evidence to make it stick in a court case? Or are we just going to go full bolsh and start popping people in the street? Every single person in Chicago knew what Al Capone was up to, and it took 6 years to finally get him on tax charges because they never could get evidence together for the booze and the gambling and the women. But because these people didn't go arrest everybody on day one, then they're owned. And the people that they're going after are the ones that hold all of the evidence. But that's all there is to it. They either have superpowers or they're owned. Nothing in between. Okay, if they're all owned and they're already in on it, then why do you have to run honeypots and islands? Why is the list such a big deal in the first place? There's 435 people in this room and they're all already owned. So then why do you have to take them out to an island, get them all liquored up, and then try to put them in a compromising situation? I mean, that fact alone proves that they're not all owned, but I know that's too much logic. There's 435 people in this room, 100 senators, and then tens of thousands of people under them. And you're telling me they got to all of them. Well, if that's the case, then why don't we have wax bean passports? Why aren't we already on the digital dollar? Why aren't gas vehicles outlawed and we're all eating insects? Well, it's because for every Snidely McCrooked that's trying to form the world to their liking, there are thousands of people in the world with free will. And until we all have chips implanted in our head and the algorithm tells us when to make our coffee, when to eat breakfast, when to go to work, that will continue to be the case. So then how do you get all of these people to do what you want? Well, you create ideological subversion, which takes out the weak-willed people, like the whole comrade and woke mind viruses. Or you can threaten them with punishments if they don't conform. Or you can bribe them, or you can get them in a compromising position and you have leverage over them. And the fact that all of these methods are being used right now means that nobody has absolute control over all of these people. You want to see what total subjugation looks like? That's it right there. When somebody can say, hey, I don't like him for whatever reason, take him out to the streets and bop. That is total control, and it has been achieved in modern history. Now, is this in any way what modern day America looks like? No. In fact, not one single country in the Western world is operating like this today. But this is what all the people leaving nasty little comments is telling me, that this is what the world power structure looks like. Mr. Burns is at the top, and that there's only one pyramid and not a drop of rain falls without Mr. Burns saying so. Okay, so who is Mr. Burns? Well, that'd be the Red Shields and the Lionese, right? Now, I agree 100% that these are the most powerful people in the Western world. I do videos about it all the time. Who are the two most powerful organizations in the world? The Lionese and the Church of Rome. That's why I do videos about it all the time. If you can show me another creator doing more videos about it than me, then let me know, because I'm always interested in learning new things, having fresh material. But I honestly don't know anybody else that talks about this more than me. But one, does that mean that they have absolute domination right now? And two, does that mean they're both working towards the same goals? Well, the answer is no on both of those. The whole goal of the Church of Rome for the last 1,000 years has been to gain as much secular power as possible for the Pope. Now, do you really think that these type A personality, megalomaniacal people have spent generations consolidating all of their wealth and authority just so they can hand it over to somebody else? Really? That's cute. All you have to do is look at the period from the 13 to 1500s to see what these guys wanted, because they accomplished that at one time. They were the ultimate authority of Europe for hundreds of years. Did they hand it over to the Lionese? Hell no. They want the world for themselves. This idea that the most prominent people in the world will risk life and limb to get their piece of the pie and then just hand it over to somebody else is absurd. Now, yes, they will all work together against the interests of the American people, against the people of any country. But that does not mean that they're all working towards the same goal. Now let's look at the Greys. Do you think all the Greys in the world are working towards the same goal? Well, in the sense that they want to subjugate the GUI, yes. But it's a huge assumption that I see a lot of people make, that they're all working towards the same goal. Case in point, what was the main goal of the Bolsh? To overthrow the Tsar and take over Mother Rus. Now, at the same time this is going on, what was the main goal of the Lionese? to take over the land of Canaan and establish the Gray homeland. So with the Bolsh, you had all of these people risk everything to accomplish their goals. With the Lyonese, you had all of these people risk everything to accomplish their goals. Now, the Bolsh actually did achieve ultimate authority for a time in Mother Rus. Now, after risking everything to accomplish that, do you think that they would just hand it over to the Lyonese group? Yeah, right. They did that so they would be the ones running the show. Now, yes, they will all stick together as a united front against the GUI. But then once they've got their piece of the pie, do you think they're willingly going to hand it over to somebody else? No. I mean, there's a really famous saying, you put two grays in a room and you're going to get three different opinions. But you're going to tell me that they all agree on who should be running the show? No. Everyone at the top of their pyramid thinks they should be the one running everything. Now, another assumption a lot of people make is because certain people hold sway through business or finance or politics, that means that they have preeminence. They are the ultimate. Okay, well, what is the number one goal of the Lyonese? To have the land of Canaan all to themselves. Well, they've been at this for 75 years and they still haven't accomplished that goal. But you're going to tell me that they have preeminence over the world and that everyone answers to them. Now look, they may have finally accomplished this goal with this latest move. And I've never once claimed that these aren't the dominant players in American politics. But everybody's getting all pissed at me because I won't bow down to the it's all fake crowd, which is now the they're all owned crowd. It's black or white. Either you admit that they have preeminence or you're a shill. You know, and yeah, I'm a square and compass brother here. That's what we do here at the lodge. In order to get my YouTube shill badge to put on my apron, I started a YouTube channel to explain all the things that are wrong with history and how these two organizations are the largest subverters of nations that I know of. And then we shadow ban my channel, so I'm talking to the same 10, 15,000 people all the time. Yeah, that's how we roll here at the lodge. Instead of putting it up front at the algorithm, we bury it towards the back. Well, then why don't you say it's these three top organizations? Well, because I'm not living 100 years in the past. Everyone that says that this is a secret organization is literally a couple hundred years in the past. Yes, they were secret when they were going up against the Church of Rome. But there's been nothing secret about it since the Enlightenment period. I can take you to every city in America, every small town in America, and I can show you the lodge. I used to date a girl whose father was a member of the lodge. But originally, the lodge was supported by the Greys to take power away from the Church of Rome, who did have preeminence at that time. That's like the 1700s, when they actually were a secret society. By the time of the American Civil War, their actions were in support of Church of Rome and Gray agendas. For example, flooding the U.S. with cat-holic noobs and establishing red shield type financial domination here. So ultimately, they became useful idiots that don't even know what master they serve. They're just puppets used by the two main puppet masters. I don't even view them as standing up for their own goals anymore. So what the square and compass represented to George Washington and the people of his day, and what it means to Shaq and all the Holly weirdos, aren't the same thing. This is the ongoing balance of power. Starting from the left 100 years ago, the Bolsh had preeminence in their area. A lot of them got what they deserved, while others had to flee down into Poland, and then this started all of the basis for Dub Deuce. The Lyonese have been working for 75 years to have the land of Canaan all to themselves. Now, who holds the most sway over America and the Western world? The Greys. Who holds the most sway over Central and South America and the majority of the small countries out there? The Church of Rome. They used the Spanish Armada to colonize most of the known world. And the whole time this is going on, they are going up against the free will of all of the citizens of the world. So even though you have all of these consolidations, 40% of America is Protestant, where 20% is Catholic and about 2% Gray, which among them, only about 10% are of the Talmudic variety. So they are working against the free will of the vast majority of America. Even though these are the two biggest, the balance of power still looks like this. If this YouTube all or nothing mentality were true, we would all have wax bean passports right now. We would already be on a digital dollar. We would all be down at the Pride Parade paying homage to the brave and stunning. We'd all be eating insects to save the planet. We'd all spend 2 days a week in climata lockdowns. And we'd all live in 13-minute cities now because that's more efficient than 15. We'd all have our spare bedrooms full of noobs as they change out the demographic. And let's not forget, in 5 years, we'd all own nothing and we'd be happy. But that's not where we're at right now. And while all of Europe is heading full steam towards those goals, we just took a U-turn. So is Doge Mr. Burns' latest attempt to subvert the free will of the American public? Well, let's see. Are they consolidating power or are they dissipating power? Because what I'm seeing so far is they're dissipating it and they're defunding all of those programs to subvert the will of the public. But for the people that see the world like this, it doesn't matter what action is taken. You could declare a complete disbandment of federal and state authority and declare every county in America its own autonomous magistrate. And it's all part of the plan because not a drop of rain falls without Mr. Burns saying so. I'm the one drinking the Kool-Aid, and it's never that they're drinking the YouTube Kool-Aid with this simplistic view of the world. They love it when you attribute these godlike powers to them. That's what the internet does with everything. Yeah, they spray some spider webs in the sky, and now not a drop of rain falls without them saying so. Yeah, they lied about our history, so now all history is fake, and 200 years ago they were living like the Jetsons with free energy, stone-cutting lasers, and a memory swiping device, so nobody remembers any of that. That's the internet mentality. It's all or nothing. It's black or white. And if you don't get on board with this new ultimate truth that we thought up 5 minutes ago, well then you're one of them and I never liked you anyway. You probably learn more here about the history of these two organizations than off of any other channel. But since I won't bow down and say that every single person in the world is owned, which is absolutely ridiculous, then I'm a shill and nothing I've ever said is correct. And it's funny how these people that have it all figured out don't have a damn thing up on their channel about it. All they can do is keep repeating their same black and white slogans. They never even address any of the points that I make. Nope, no individual battle in the wider war matters because it's just black and white. There's a reason they call it the balance of power and not the ladder of power. And once people dedicate their whole lives to getting their piece of the pie, they're not so quick to bend the knee and hand it over to someone else. But I get it. The complexity of this doesn't make for easy to remember slogans, and it's hard to remember all the names of the hundreds of other families. So let's just stick with Mr. Burns, and then we don't have to think about it anymore. Have fun with that. Call me whatever you want. Static out.